Hey, what's up, fam? If you're new to the channel, my name is Ted, and I'm talking bass.
Cause just as sure as the sun gives way to the moon, just as sure as the gray gives way to the blue, I'm gonna ride to the heavens child inside my groove.
Check it out. I got a message from Sinbad, yes, the comedian Sinbad, a couple of months ago, actually, and he was asking me about, if you don't know, Sinbad plays bass, he plays guitar, he plays drums, super talented dude, super dope dude. If you guys seen one of my previous videos where I said dope a lot of times, he was asking me about stuff that you need to be able to do to survive any gig. I gotta pay attention to the road. And it's taken me a while to put this together because it's hard to condense that type of thing into one video, but there are a few things that I'm going to share with you in this video in order to step into any gig. I'm gonna try to keep it to 5 things. All right, check it out. Something I need to clarify though. So I'm talking pop gigs, and when I say I'm under the umbrella of pop music, I'm gonna say funk, R&B, hip hop, that type of thing. Jazz, gonna get a little bit more in depth, but pop gigs. So, all right. So one of the things I was thinking as I'm walking this gig, French truck coffee here, is shapes. You want to know shapes. Now, I can't really get into all of it right now, but you definitely want to know major, minor pentatonic shapes. And some people are anti-shapes and talk about but that because the guitar, the bass are very symmetrical instruments. So, shapes will get you out of a lot of jams, especially when you're transposing, things like that, and just understanding the geography of the instrument. So basic chord and scale shapes is definitely one thing that you want to investigate and know. Another thing that you really want to know are obviously songs. I mean, to get through, when you go to a gig or whatever, you're playing songs and people are going to want you to know a bunch of songs. I just did a gig a few nights ago where the band leader, once I got there and he figured, I had a repertoire, no set list, no nothing. He just calling tunes. So what comes first, the chicken or the egg? You know what I'm trying to say? Like, learn songs, start reverse engineering how the shapes apply to the songs, and then after you do that, I guess I kind of said what kind of the chicken or the egg thing, but figure out how to apply those shapes to the songs, or how the shapes apply to the songs, and start listening for the similarities between songs. You know what I mean? Like, for instance, let's take a song like 24 Karat Magic by Bruno Mars and the Gap Band's Oops Upside Your Head. So once you listen to these things over and over and over again, you start to see the similarities, and you start to see, oh, this is a minor pentatonic shape. So, which leads me into my next point about hearing. So the thing about being able to find the connections between songs, the point I wanted to make about that was, the mark of a good player is not necessarily being able to play fast. More often than not, it's being able to hear fast. So, sorry, I'm out of breath because I just moved my DB 410 up on the stage here, and I'm sitting on by myself. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, it's not always about playing fast. We live in this world where all the things that we see on YouTube and Instagram and things like that, the people who get the praise and the accolades and all the glory, so to speak, are the people that got all the chops and all that stuff. That's cool. I'm not knocking that, but it's not really all about that. You got to be able to hear fast. And so putting these things together, you know, I can't, Scotty Shepard on Instagram asked me, about me getting started on bass. And I know that a lot of the guys, when I look at the demographic of people who consume my content, are cats in their late 20s and up. And so, you could sit around and get a bunch of theory books and all that stuff. And all that stuff is cool. Definitely continue to learn and go as deep as you can. But don't forget that music is a language, and we're speaking a language. So, what I did, he was asking me how I got started on bass. First thing I learned how to do was tune the instrument. I knew that if I was in tune, right, that at least my fingers were going to be in the right place. So, I would listen to songs that I liked. I would sing the part and then match my fingers to go along with, the notes that I was hearing. I didn't know any scales or anything like that. I learned how to play bass the same way that I learned how to talk, by copying. The same way that you learned how to talk, by copying. You know what I'm saying? We all learn how to speak the same way. We copy the sounds around us. And so, that's super, super important. So shapes, learning songs, and finding the connections between songs is another thing that you want to start investigating and look at. Another thing that you want to really get hip to is the Nashville number system. Again, all this stuff, what comes first, the chicken or the egg? For me, it's learning songs first. I'll give you an example though. I learned a bunch of songs. Start with stuff you like, right? Start with the songs that you like, and start connecting these dots. So I'll give you an example. Let me finish my thought. My thought was, I didn't know scales. Once I started learning scales, for instance, like the major scale, and I know I'm sitting at a funny angle, but I don't have a tripod, so here's where we are. So let's take a song like Easy by the Commodores. It's in the key of A flat, I believe. And so you may learn that song and you hear, and you don't know what that means, but if you investigate this Nashville number thing, that's 1, 3, 2, 5. That's why I'm easy. Right? And you'll start to hear that, going back to making the connection between different songs. You'll start hearing those sounds. Bonus tip on that is sing what you play. Bum, ba, bum, bum. Right? Sing what you play. So if you know that that's 1, 3, 2, 5, let's say somebody calls the song Easy in, I don't know, key of C. No problem. You know that C exists there. It exists here as well. 1, 3, 2, 5, 1. Right? You start getting beyond that. Well, those aren't. That's a little bit deeper when we talk about the harmony. But Nashville number system. Start once you got your shape down. Start understanding. If all you know is your major scale, right? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Even before you know the chords or the triads, know where the numbers or the roots are. So it's just 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and 1. Right? You start going beyond that, then you know that 1 is major, 2 is minor, 3 is minor, 4 is major, 5 is major or dominant if we're talking about a 4-note chord, 6 is minor, 7 is diminished, and then 1 again. 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 1. Right? And that comes with time. So take your time. Don't try to rush through any of this stuff. If I were to say anything, one to put first on the list is learn songs that you like, learn music in the same holistic way that you learn how to speak because it is a language. It's not just a euphemism, or it's not just a saying. It is an actual language. And so when you go play with, the gig that I'm on right now, I sat in one time. Of course, I got a recommendation or whatever. I sat in, bass player left, guy asked me to come in. I've not had one rehearsal with this band or anything like that. But at this point, I've been with the band for a few months. So, it just kind of snowballs from there. But a lot of the songs that they play were songs that I had been playing, when I was a kid. Or, one of the songs we play, Word Up. You know what I mean? So, shapes, learn songs, see the connection between songs. Nashville numbering. Got another one coming. Stay tuned. Another thing is, I don't know if you can hear me, but another thing is, it's not a beer. It's really not a beer. It's more caffeine. But another thing is, don't take yourself too seriously. There's like a lot of guys, man, that are, they want to start, they want to play, but they're going down this rabbit hole of just, it's either a confidence thing or they're like waiting to learn everything. And you can't do that. You just got to get out there and play. Learn some songs and start playing. Get together with like-minded people who want to play the same type of stuff that you're playing, or go out and find out what, bands in your area are playing, and then start learning those tunes, man, and get out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, shake off the lack of confidence and get out there, man. You got to get out there. And a sound guy in LA one time told me that you got to dare to suck. And so try it out, man. So forgive me, I'm recording content for my YouTube channel. Hey, so here's another, this is like a bonus to all the little tips that I just shared with you. The keyboard player for this gig just showed up. Fantastic keyboard player. Now, look, some of y'all are not going to want to do this, right? Courtesy of Piper? Yes, sir. Piper, excuse me, guys. Piper sent gifts? Seriously? Love you. Thank you. Kisses and hugs. Right here. Now back to you guys. So, get friendly with the keyboard. I cannot, just like for your overall musicianship, you ain't got to be like a keyboard player, but get friendly with the keyboard. And I'll tell you, because the harmony is laid out on a keyboard like it is laid out on no other instrument, right? You really have to come to grips with how notes work together. And also, when you start, learning these patterns on the keyboard and learning what the notes are, if you've got a good keyboard player and you get stuck in a bind, that keyboard player is going to show you in their left hand what they are playing. So if you got something in E flat, you know how to identify where that E flat is, the second of the two black keys, right? You got two black keys, and you got three black keys, and then two black keys, and then three black keys, and the pattern continues, right? So that keyboard player may help you out by playing that E flat, right? So you want to be able to look at that, match that E flat to your neck. I cannot stress that enough. One of the best things I ever did as a bass playing musician, was learning how to play the keyboard and get friendly with the keyboard. Ain't that right, Jay?
Absolutely right.
You see what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? See, they don't know me like that on YouTube. They don't know I'm about that life. Keyboard player by just so you know, that's Jay Shaw. Look at him, man. Ain't he handsome? Ladies! You know what I'm saying? I don't want to get him in no trouble, though. Hey, if you ever down in New Orleans, come down to Fat Cast. This boy can play now. He can play. I don't be fooling around with no Rudy Poops. So here's one more tip for you. I don't know if you can hear me, so I'm gonna scream over the music. Last tip I have, especially for you younger cats, is find some older cats to play with. Definitely want to be in a situation, if you get a situation, play with some OGs, that's gonna like hella bring your game up to another level. Nothing against playing with the young lions, but definitely playing with older cats is something that helped me get my ass handed to me and learning just that sage stuff that only comes from experience. So that's a little bonus tip for you. So yeah, man. Hey, so as I'm putting this video together, I'm realizing that I'm kind of all over the place just because this is my first time doing a vlog style video. So bear with me. Anyway, so as you can see from the video, though, I was on my way to a gig where I played 5 hours of funk and R&B, and then as I'm getting off the stage, Eddie Christmas texts me and asked me to cover a country gig, and so I walked down the street and play for an additional 2 hours of country music, and so. Which leads me, I think I talked about, the Nashville number system. So, that whole night was, the singer who usually plays guitar and the guy who was playing guitar usually plays bass. But since the guitar player, had messed up his finger, the bass player wound up playing guitar, left them without a bass player. So I step in kind of mid first set of theirs, and he's just 1, 4, 5 the whole 2 the whole night. I'm just like looking at his hands, and I can see people in the audience like, dang, this dude, like, I literally just met all of those people. Eddie texts me, I didn't know any of those people. I think it was Ron Hartman and the Mid-City Drifters is who I played with last night. Good band. But anyway, so, listening to different styles and realizing that all music is one. All music is connected in some sort of way. So I know I talked about connections. I think I mentioned about the Nashville number system. Once you get your shapes and everything together, really start, when you play your scales, sing them. You know what I mean? Sing them and say, hey, this is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Get to know that stuff. It comes over time. It doesn't happen overnight. So be patient with yourself. And warts and all, I'm putting this video out today because that was my intention. And so, yeah, man, happy holidays to you guys. If you're new here and you like this kind of content, go on and hit that subscribe button and the bell icon so you never miss a groove. And yeah, man, like I said, happy holidays. All the best to you in 2020. I hope that everything good that you want to happen happens to you. All right. Peace. 2 fingers.